Scooby-Doo-Bop.
What up, Lions? Welcome back. We got Britt in the studio today.
Hey.
And we're kicking it off today with sport talk.
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about sports.
A lot.
So many topics, but we're going to start today with sport injuries.
Sport injuries.
Because it's so big, and I find that not a lot of people know what to do with themselves when they're injured because it's more of a mental game than it is a physical thing.
And also, it's like an identity golf club to the face.
Oh my God.
Because when you're injured, it's like, especially if you're an athlete and you do this on the daily, your identity is crushed.
That's like 4 hours a day of your life that you don't know what to do with yourself anymore,
Yes.
which is so shitty. And then that comes to the term that when you get hurt, you want to bounce back as fast as possible, but that's not the smartest way to go about it ever because it leads to more injury down the line.
So you had an injury.
I had a few, yeah.
Okay, what kind of injuries?
So I played soccer like my whole life. So first injury, totally caught off guard. Nobody touched me, nobody nothing. I was playing soccer. I was trying to like deke somebody. So a lot of cutting
Pivoting?
movements, more side to side, like really fast.
Okay.
But also consider that nowadays, like when I was younger, we never played on turf. It wasn't really a thing, or not every field was a turf field. So we played mainly on grass, which I find is a lot better for your knees. Now we play on turf, and if you don't have specific shoes for the turf, your cleats dig in and they get stuck. Which a lot of people are like, no, that's not true.
Or that's better for grip.
It's not. It's so bad for your knees. So I actually was trying to deke and I heard a pop and I fainted. And I used to like pretend to get hurt when I was frustrated that we weren't doing well when I was younger. It was a thing. I was the poorest sport ever, but we'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
So my dad was like, get up, like this is an important game and like keep going, stop getting frustrated. But I was passed out, so then he was like, oh shit. So he came and he like picked me up, threw me over his shoulder, walked me off. And so I found out later on, even though nobody believed that I was actually hurt, I tore my ACL, MCL, and meniscus in my left knee. That I needed surgery for.
Oh my God.
And the surgery went on for a really long time because they didn't think they could actually repair my meniscus, because you don't really repair a meniscus. You either like take it out or it kind of heals on its own, but it was like bad, I guess. I don't really know. I didn't know much about anything at that age. I was like, what the fuck is even a meniscus? Like, I have no idea what that is when I first got hurt.
Well, I don't really know what a meniscus is.
It's like, so your legs go like this, your knee attaches by two bones.
Yeah.
The bottom bone is like your tib fib.
Okay,
it's two bones, and then the top is your femur, and they kind of connect like your knuckles do if you put them on top of each other. So if you had nothing in between, your bones would just kind of rub against each other, which is really awkward. But you have two meniscus, a medial and a lateral, and they're just like pads that don't allow your bone to rub. It's like cushion.
Okay.
I could be wrong,
they tore,
but that's
both of them tore.
No, just my medial tore, but I also tore my ACL, which connects, it like goes from the back of your knee to the front and connects, and my MCL, which is on the middle of your knee that attaches the top and bottom bone together.
That's disgusting.
So I had the triad of all injuries, but my knee didn't blow up when it happened. Like most people swell, mine didn't do anything, so they were really confused until we saw the MRI. And now that I read the MRI report, I also had like a chipped bone because it ripped off when it ripped. So that was my first injury, and I didn't know what to do after surgery. Nobody really gave me guidance, so I went to the physio like bare minimally because I couldn't afford it. That shit is like $80 an hour, and when you have to go 3 times a week and you're not working, I just turned 18. I need the money, and I couldn't work because I couldn't walk on it for a really, really long time.
So you like milked the hell out of the physio for the first hour to like ask her, what do I do?
I milked it, and I didn't go, and because I wasn't constantly going and I was like too depressed to follow Like, my days were spent sitting on the couch crying that I couldn't walk, I couldn't move. I wanted to play. I was getting fat because I was sitting and doing nothing. But that's like an attitude thing. Instead of being like, I'm gonna bounce back so fast, I was like, why did this happen to me? I have fucking strong legs. There's no reason that this happens. I was a mess. And I couldn't walk for almost 3 months. I was in a lot of pain. Well, which isn't normal. Like, you should be able to walk within 6 weeks, but I just wasn't taking care of it because I was so upset.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't even fully healed, and I tried out for my school's soccer team. And I made the team, which was weird because I hadn't touched a ball in like 8 months.
Okay.
But my doctor told me I was not allowed to play yet, but I was stubborn. I was like, no, I'm ready. My body feels better than it has in a while, and I need to start exercising. And my leg never fully healed. Like, it still hurts when I go outside and it's cold. I still feel it pop a little sometimes, like. But I strengthened my leg a lot because after my first surgery, I started CrossFit. And I was like, hey, this is going to boost my shit.
Did it boost your shit?
It did. It really did. But at the same time, it got me in a little bit of trouble because I started CrossFit like 2 years or 3 years. I got hurt in 2013. I started CrossFit in 2016.
Okay.
So I was
fine.
I was really hyped and into getting into
fit
Christmas. And so I wanted to go to the gym as much as I could.
Yeah.
So I was taking advantage and going to the gym like 4 times a week, 3 times. But one time I couldn't get in that extra session, and I was like, I have a soccer game tonight. I'm just going to go and then play soccer after. But it was like a pure leg workout. And then when I went to go play after, my legs were so dead that I tore my ACL on my other side.
Oh my God.
Because also I lean a lot on the dominant leg that wasn't hurt, that I was compensating because I wasn't fully healed on my left leg. So I ended up hurting the other leg, plus muscle fatigue, plus the turf.
So with all of this, all of these injuries, like, is your body fully ready to like go and exercise, or are you always working around these injuries?
I don't know. Like, the first one, I was always working around the injury, but the second one, I came back with a vengeance. I was like, I'm going to heal really fast. Like, I went to CrossFit with my staples still in, like rowing with a skateboard under my leg. And because I worked out so much immediately after the surgery, the blood flow, it helped me heal. So I came back with a vengeance, like, I'm going to get better than ever, and I did. And I never thought about my knee after that. I was playing soccer perfectly fine, like better than I've ever played in my life because I was so fit from the CrossFit. And like, the right one healed so well that I was like, I don't even have to think about it. Okay. But like, then I got hurt a third time playing soccer, but it's never because of CrossFit. It's always because of soccer. And that's the most frustrating one. So now my life is revolved around, fixing myself and what can I and can't I do.
Injuries are tough, man.
They are.
Like, I just got injured yesterday, and I was telling you about this before, about my shoulder, and I'm not too sure what I did with it, but it makes you feel like you just want to bawl your eyes out. Because it's like, well, I had plans for today. I wanted to go to the gym and lift heavy, and you don't realize what you have, like, until it's gone.
You really don't. Like I said before, it's a complete mental thing. Because you're missing out on this big aspect of your life that, like, okay, this was my plans, and okay, I want to go to the gym and I want to squat, but I can't put any weight on my leg, so what the fuck am I doing? Like, little hip thrusts with no weight and like bicep curls, which I don't give a shit about, like trying to build the rest of my body when my legs are shrinking away, and like the excitement of the workouts that I love to do in CrossFit, I can't do most of them because everything involves legs. So what do? I eat because I'm sad, and then I get bigger, which is worse for the knee.
And that's why it's all about mindset. Like, so of course the first thing I did was, like, Justin asked me how my morning was, and I was like, well, it's good, but I'm upset about my shoulder. He's like, but use this as a way to work on your weaknesses, which are my legs, because they're so thin and like not big, and I need them to be big for CrossFit. So he has such a good mindset. He's like, well, why don't you use this as an opportunity to work on your weaknesses?
It is. That's so good. Because some people, see, I took it the wrong way. Like, my brother just tore a bunch of shit in his ankle and he's walking around with a boot and he literally can't go to school. Like, he had to drop out of school because he's in a trade. And when I asked him, like, are you upset? Are you okay? He was like, I'll pick up the trade as soon as I heal. Like, I'm fine. But me, I would have been devastated. I would have been like, I can't go to school. What the fuck am I supposed to do with my life right now? Instead of finding something to do.
Yeah.
But it was just such a fuck up. Like, you're hurting already, and then your mental is hurting, and my feelings got hurt. And
well, that's why being an athlete is all about mindset anyway. And we can segue into mindset.
Yeah, 100%.
What kind of mindset do you have to be an athlete? Or rather, do you think anybody can be an athlete?
I think anybody could be a mediocre athlete.
Okay.
But I think, like, it comes to the question of, when you lose, what do you do?
That's it.
What's your kind of mindset when you lose?
When you miss a lift.
Yeah.
When you get a horrible time on a workout.
Yeah. When you miss a goal-winning shot.
Yeah.
A tackle, whatever.
Whatever it is.
That's it. So
how do you react?
When I was younger, I was the worst sport ever. I didn't take my frustration out in the right way. I took it out in the wrong. So playing soccer, if we were losing a really important game, instead of getting mad and putting my frustrations into kicking this team's ass, I literally would give up and be like, what's the point? Like, I'm not good enough. But now when I get a bad time in CrossFit, or if we're not winning, I put that energy into, okay, I want to fuck this shit up. Like, I want to be better. And I think that's the mindset that you need to have when you're a strong athlete. And I don't mean strong like physically. I mean like when you're going up there in the athletics, your mindset is everything.
It is.
In the game. Every single thing. So if you go into a workout with, I'm not going to do well, you're not going to do well. That's just the way it is. Like, you can't, what are you expecting?
Or like, and little things happen. It's different in CrossFit. Well, it's not really different in CrossFit compared to other sports because there are always elements around you changing, and like, how are external elements going to affect your performance? So like when I was just doing 19.5, I ripped the crap out of my hand. This is why I'm wearing black. And so instantly, like, blood started like pouring everywhere, and my coach who was judging me, Rock, he saw it. He's like, it's not there. It's not there.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that's so true. Okay, it's not there. Boom, grab the bar. I don't feel it. So take your mind off of the negative and focus on what you can control. Are you going to let this, make you give up on your workout?
Yeah.
Well, then you should just walk away right now. If you're going to continue the workout, don't think about this. It's not
true.
there.
Yeah. That's funny because there are ways to go around it if your mentality isn't strong either. Like in CrossFit, I do so much better when someone's talking to me while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's getting my mind off of the pain and it's keeping me focused on like
the task.
Like Alexandrine, when we did, I think it was like 17.4, I hated rowing and we had to row like 55 cal.
Oh God.
And she was talking to me, and as soon as she stopped, my head was like, oh, no.
I can't
I was like, keep talking to me, please. So I would be pulling and she would be like, think about how strong those legs are. You're so strong. Like, keep it up. Keep breathing. Deep breaths in and out.
And I think the goal ultimately is to have, what mindset is that inner voice for you.
Yeah.
It's you creating that talk so that nobody else has to do it for you.
Yeah. It's hard to get into that. Like when I was doing gymnastics, the beam apparatus, we were getting to the point where we were learning how to do backflips on the beam, which is hard because you're like completely taking your feet off of what's already so small.
A backflip on normal ground is difficult.
So I remember we were in competition and I just had to do a cartwheel before anything on the beam. And I fell, and when I got back up, my coach was like, shake it off, because if not, it's going to stay with you. But I was so shook from falling on something easy that I didn't even try the backflip because I was afraid of falling again and really hurting myself. So it is that mindset, like, you got this, you could do this, and knowing your ability and not pushing past that, though. Like, if you know that you can't do something, maybe a competition is not the time to try it and hurt yourself. Like, know your limits and know when you can push them and when you need to.
Because that's how I got injured.
Yeah.
I was upset that I couldn't walk on my hands up a ramp when I had done that in the past. Mm-hmm. So in my head, I was like, no, you should be able to do this skill. Why did you lose this skill? So I worked. I didn't get it. I did my entire workout of the day. And at the end, tried the ramp again. And that's how I injured my shoulder.
And you were already exhausted.
Because in my head, I was like, you should be able to do this.
Yeah.
Don't push it when you can't do something. It'll happen. Like, just don't push yourself. You're gonna get injured.
But that's it. When I got hurt the second time on my right leg, like this is number 3 now that would need surgery. We had just come back from like snowboarding for 8 hours, and we had a really big game against the first place team. And I kept telling myself, I'm fucking exhausted. My knees are shaking. I don't feel great. But we're playing against the first place team. I want to fucking win. That's my ego. I want to fucking win, okay? I played my damn heart out, and I hurt myself, though, because at some point, I kept telling myself my legs are going to give out. But then this, like, inner ego was saying, no. You got this. Like, show them what you got. Give it what you got just so we can win.
And then you hurt yourself.
Yeah, but we won. I was really happy.
You did pretty good.
Yeah, but then now it's been 4 months almost that I'm out, and I'm miserable, so...
How are you dealing with it then?
I don't... In negative ways, that's
really?
The thing. I'm like, this is the 3rd time now I'm upset. I was having a pretty wicked season on the soccer teams that I was playing on, which made me more upset because now I'm seeing them... I'm watching them play, and I want to play, and I did play once, which was not smart. But do you see, like, you need to know yourself to know what you can and you can't do, especially when you're injured, because I could have hurt myself even more playing, but it's that ego that was like, okay, no, I'm fine, I could do this, but you're not fine. Like, you need to heal, and you don't always know your body as well as you think you do also. But you know it better than everyone else.
I agree.
So not everyone's opinion on how you heal is the right opinion.
I agree.
That's it. So
you had some questions that you wanted to ask us.
Yeah. Okay. So first question, do you think sports should be encouraged from a young age and like growing up as well?
Yes.
Why?
Is this something we disagree on?
No. This is not the one.
I love the disagreements.
Yeah.
Okay. I 100% do believe in that. Because I think that as humans, we need to move our bodies. We need to, not just for like being a part of a sport and being a part of a community, which are great benefits, but for having spatial awareness to understand more about yourself. And are you coordinated? Oh, yeah. Are you actually good at reading people? Sports are a reflection of life. So I 100% agree that like you should be put in a sport, even if you suck, to see what you do in stressful environments, to see what you do when the ball is not being passed to you and you're being ignored. This is life, man.
That is.
I think everyone should be a part of sports.
That's what I think. You know what I also think? When you're young, you have so much mobility and your body is like new. It's flexible. It can do all the movements that it was originally made to do. And as you get older, if you don't keep practicing that, you lose that. And being a part of exactly, flexibility being the main thing.
You know why? Apparently, it's stress. The more stressed out you are, the tighter you are.
Oh, I agree.
Your body's
my neck is
stiff,
gigantically stiff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you keep doing what your body naturally should be doing, because we used to be hunters and gatherers, if you're going back to the specific, and you know your body should be constantly moving. We're not meant to be nomadic. We're meant to
nomadic is moving around.
We're not meant to be like stagnant. We're meant to be nomadic. So move. Get yourself moving.
So just to move.
Yeah, and that brings us to why the sports are important, because it teaches you all about life. Sports are a reflection of life. And I actually had a question about that.
I agree.
Actually, a few questions go into that. So one of them was, do you believe a player should keep working hard even when no one is watching?
Yes.
Like, how are you when the cameras are not on you?
And I 100% agree with that. Actually, when I was in college, I heard a quote, and it was like, are you the same person? Something like along those lines. Are you the same person when nobody is watching you?
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Are we though?
I feel like we are.
Because when we're in the gym and I'm working out, if I don't feel like doing something, I won't give my whole effort. But if someone is filming me, I'll go ham. Like, I'll give all the effort that I can. But that's just...
Yeah. I think that's situational, though. I'm talking more about personality.
Yeah.
Like for instance... Like, if I feel a song, I'm gonna beat to it. You know what I'm saying? And if there is someone in the gym that, like, doesn't like that vibe or, like, is looking at me weird, I'll be like, you're part of my vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, or if I'm walking to my car and I'm feeling the beat, I will still, nobody's around, but I'm still being me. I'm still, so, yeah, I feel like however you act when nobody else is around is how you should act. Does that make sense?
No, it does. When I was younger, before Instagram existed and we posted everything that we were doing, I used to go to the field in front of my house and just play and work on my weaknesses when no one was watching. Yeah. And not a lot of people do that. Like David was telling me, David is an incredible athlete. I don't know anything this kid is not good at. But he told me, he's like, you know, I'm not afraid to tell people that I worked fucking hard to get where I am. He's like, I sucked at hockey and I spent hours in my backyard shooting the puck, or I would go to the rink by myself at 6 o'clock in the morning and shoot to get where I am. Yeah. And not many people admit that, because there's also this aspect of you want to be naturally talented. Yeah. Like, we praise natural talent, but hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard.
I don't think that we praise natural talent. I think we actually look at it and we're like, ugh, they don't have to work for it. They're naturally good singers. They're naturally good. I feel like that's the inevitable response to, like, natural talent. I don't feel like people are like, wow, they don't have to work. I feel like hard work is always praised.
I know. I read a book about, it was like, what's it called? The book was about a set mindset and a growth mindset.
Yeah, it's and how Carol Dweck mindset.
People with... people do tend to praise just talent. Like, oh my God, you don't even need to work hard. You just know. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people on this planet have fixed mindsets. It's an excuse
to not work hard.
But that's it. Or it's an excuse, like, people say, oh, I didn't study for this test, because they're afraid of failure. So if they do fail, they're like, well, I didn't study, so it doesn't matter. Yes. But if they do really well, they're like, I didn't even study.
People are scared that their best effort isn't good enough. Yeah. That's a scary, scary thing.
It is a scary thing, but failure is the only the only way that you're gonna learn things. Like, how do you know something you're doing is wrong, or if there's not a better way, if you don't fail at it? And, like, you can't do everything perfectly. We're human. You know? Yeah. Nobody has that ability to do everything perfectly. Like, I get mad. I tried playing tennis for the first time this summer, and I fucking sucked. And I was like, I'm a natural athlete. I should not suck at this. And I was pissed off.
That's your competitive nature, though.
It is. But is there a difference between competitiveness? Like, do ego and competitiveness go hand in hand?
I feel like they do. For sure.
I don't think so.
No? Why?
I think I've met people who are competitive but are not, like, egotistic about it. Like, they're silently competitive and they don't let their ego, like, they're competitive in the sense that I want to win this game, but if they lose, they're not like, oh, fuck, I lost, now I look like shit. They're like, oh, no, I have things to improve on, and now I know where it is.
Oh, of course.
But that's why I think there's a difference between competitiveness and ego.
Well, I just think everyone has ego.
Oh, everyone does, but the way they use it is different. Yeah. Plus, the ego definition is very broad.
We're going to do a podcast on ego.
Yeah, I love the ego conversation.
But yeah, back to your questions.
Okay, so yeah, I think hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, but not everybody thinks that way. Well, they're like, I'm naturally talented, so I'm going to be better than the people who aren't naturally talented no matter how hard they work.
Well, that in some cases is also true.
It's true, but there are going to be people who aren't naturally talented who work fucking hard, and you're doing butt fuck nothing, and they're going to surpass you, and you have no right to be angry about it.
That's true.
You know?
That's also true.
Yeah.
But I do think, like, there are some singers that will just forever be better than me. And no matter how hard I work, no matter how many hours a day that I train, I will probably never even measure up. But I can measure up in all of the other things that I do, outreach with fans, songwriting, and, like, over time, hard work will beat natural talent. I agree with that.
It does, but having that natural talent, it's like CrossFit. Sometimes you just have the body for it, the body that will take you all the way. And sometimes you're just not lucky enough to have those genetics. It's life. Like, genetics are a thing that certain sports favor certain genetics, and others, like rock climbers, don't want to be big and stocky like weightlifters. Rock climbers want to be tall and slender with muscle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your genetics plays a lot in where the natural talent comes from also, but it doesn't excuse the fact that you need to work.
I agree.
Hard to get to where you want to go.
I so agree.
So I also read something about, we'll turn this into a question. So do you think parents and coaches should reward children regardless of their performance? Because this is a huge topic about kids like getting participation medals and stuff.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
They should not.
Why?
Because it's like, you need to know if you suck or not. People can't grow up in denial being like, oh, mommy, I just won in basketball. Oh, you scored some goals? No, I was participating.
Like, life doesn't work that way.
Life doesn't work that way, and you're just ultimately setting them up for failure and for a serious self-awareness issue when they're older.
Yeah.
Because people are going to grow up being like freaking in denial.
Oh, for sure. Or they're going to believe that life works the same way.
Exactly.
You're going up for a job interview with somebody, against somebody, and they're more qualified than you. But I should get a participatory job because I'm still here. I'm still participating in the interview. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't I get something out of that? No. The person who worked harder and is better than you, which sounds mean, but there are people better than you at everything. They're going to get...
I find it hard to even contribute to this conversation because do people believe this?
Yeah, people get mad when their kids don't get some type of reward. Like, you know, when you're younger, what happens in your sport when you play sports heavily really determines how you grow up.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If you really don't work well with others on your sports team, either you need to go on an individual sport team or you really just don't know how to be with other people or how to work as a team, or you don't understand the dynamics that working together will get you farther than working alone. Like in soccer, you can't deke the whole fucking team and score unless you're Messi or something, you know? It's easier to pass to get the goal than it is to try to deke out an 11-man team by yourself.
Yeah.
And you have these people. Use your resources, but if you don't learn that when you're younger, I mean, you don't pass when you're younger.
But then this goes into the fact that is CrossFit a sport? Because... you know, we have no teammates in CrossFit.
You do. There are team comps.
If there are team comps, but most of the time, it's individual competition. So if you're just competing against yourself, is CrossFit considered a sport?
But you're not competing against yourself. As much as, like, I get the CrossFit mentality, the only person you should be competing with is yourself. Like, you can't compare yourself to others. But then in the games... the only way you're going to win is if you compare yourself to other people. You could be really proud of your workout, the time you got, the weight you pulled, the amount of reps you did. You could be proud. It could be your personal best.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that the girl ahead of you, like, there's still somebody ahead of you who's doing more reps, more weight, more whatever. So, and you need that spot. So you are competing with that person.
So do you think CrossFit's a sport?
I do, 100%. Are you kidding me? CrossFit is like all of the sports combined. Yeah. You know? And
I think CrossFit is the foundational sport. Yeah. And all the other sports like feed off of CrossFit.
I think gymnastics is the foundational sport.
No. Gymnastics is hugely lacking the fact that they don't have any weights. The fact that you can't manipulate weights.
Gymnasts are still stronger. Okay.
But if they can't lift up or squat, clean, and jerk 100 pounds,
look at how many gymnasts go into CrossFit when their gym career is done.
Yeah.
Because a gym career is hard to maintain. It's disgustingly hard on the body. But I personally think that you need to master body weight shit before you can even touch a weight. I haven't mastered body weight shit.
That's the foundation of CrossFit. It says that.
Half of us can't do that, though.
What do you mean?
You're telling me you could do like a push press handstand, body weight. Oh. Like start in a straddle and just lift yourself up, no legs? I think you're strong as fuck, but I don't think so.
Wait, say that again. A straddle?
Like you start sitting like this with your hands in between your legs, and you put.
But
that's
I mean,
body weight.
Even elite CrossFitters, they spend years and years and years trying to get that move.
But I'm saying gymnasts get that when they're 6.
But that's their sport. CrossFit is the sport of being proficient in every single sport. That's why I think it's the foundational sport.
But I still disagree with that. I still think gymnastics, like a lot of people that didn't do gymnastics younger when they were growing up that I know now, they don't have the body awareness that a gymnast has. Gymnasts have the ultimate body awareness. Every muscle, every joint, everything is involved in everything you do in gymnastics, and you're so aware of the way your body moves. Yeah. I used to coach gymnastics, competitive and just rec. You could tell when somebody has been doing gymnastics for a while by when you ask them, okay, I need you to move your body this way. If they actually know what you're talking about, it's because they're really aware of what's wrong in the first place to move. Yeah. But if they have no idea, they're like this, and you're like, no. Yeah, no, that's true. How would you even think that? It's because the body awareness. It's just, I know incredible athletes, and if they were to do CrossFit, like they can't overhead squat properly because they don't have that body awareness of hinge at the hips, keep this straight, da-da-da. I see it. I see it in our gym.
And also
I see it
a lot
everywhere.
Of people who start CrossFit, we don't have like the proper backgrounds. Yeah. So we're thrown into this crazy sport without the proper background. So no, that's. But I do think that CrossFit is the sport.
Yeah, I think it embodies everything, but I think you'd be even better in CrossFit with a gymnastics background
or a weightlifting background
But, oh yeah, they're very aware. Yes. Olympic lifters are so technical. Yes. They're so aware of but again, that's only they only incorporate a few movements. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Literally 3 lifts.
Yeah.
The snatch, clean and jerk.
And they squat, back squat, front squat.
Yeah.
3 lifts. You're like, wait a minute. No, it's just 2.
Clean and jerk.
Yeah, but technically clean and jerk is 1. But like they, it's lots of heavyweight stuff, but again, not body weight.
Yeah.
But I don't really know their training. Like I know when I was doing Olympic lifting, I did a lot of strict pull-ups.
That's true.
I didn't do a lot of strict other body weight stuff besides abs.
Why do you think that sports bring the world together?
It's like I just watched a documentary on Netflix about how during World War II, FIFA has the World Cup. Countries that were literally in war were playing against each other without issues and like being friendly and stuff.
What was the documentary called?
Oh God, I don't ever know.
Okay.
I just click stuff. It's okay. Something with FIFA in it. Okay. But it's relatively new on Netflix, I think, and it talks about the whole history of FIFA and how it was corrupt and shit. So much corruption in sports. That's a whole other topic on its own. But yeah, I think it brings people together because it's like an international language. Oh, you play soccer? You don't even speak English. You have no idea what I'm saying, but we could play together. Yeah, it's a language. Sport is a language. Yeah. That anybody who knows the sport can interact. So
in terms of corruption in sports, you mean like steroids and stuff?
Oh, steroids I meant corruption more as like teams pay to win.
Yeah, fixing,
which has happened in every single sport. Including water polo, okay? Like the sports that are not as widely known, it happens. Mm-hmm. But steroids is a big issue. And I know everybody thinks every CrossFitter on the planet takes steroids, which is not true, but
it's not
it's
true.
not true. Yeah, there are ways around these tests.
They're so easy to beat.
Yeah, which is really shitty because I used to pride myself on telling people
it's a clean sport.
It's so clean. People work really hard and you guys aren't used to that hard work, so you judge it.
There are some, people who work really hard and
don't take steroids.
Are not on steroids. Yeah. So what do you think about steroid use?
I think it's cheating, clearly.
What if we had CrossFit for steroid users?
That would be like a whole other but steroids are not good for your body, number one.
Well,
CrossFit is basing itself on a healthy lifestyle more now than ever with the new change in format and whatever. They're really they're really trying to get the message out that we're trying to change people's lives with health. So why would you introduce something that's not healthy for your body?
But is it not healthy for your body?
I don't think so. I think it gives you... I don't really know the side effects of steroids, but I know it gives you shitty side effects.
I've done a lot of research on steroids.
Okay, hit me
because
up.
It's been something that I'm so consumed with. Just like the idea that it's in our sport.
Yeah.
That like people taking it are stealing places from me. Like,
yes.
That's such a bad outlook. But I'm like, I feel like if you're taking steroids and I know about it and you're competing against me, yes, it's cheating. Because
it's not fair.
You're competing against someone who's not using steroids.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like you're stealing from me. You're stealing a placement. Like, okay, so I was 300th place last year in the Open. Yeah. I would have actually been top 200 something if it weren't for you and your steroid use.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of encourage it if it were part of its own sport, because that'd be fucking fun to watch.
Evening
you know how fun that would be?
Yeah, well, it would be insane. You'd be doing some weird shit.
Evening the playing field, is there ever an even playing field? No, there's no such thing as an even playing field.
But I'm saying there's no such thing as an even playing field for aspects of life that we can't control. Genetics, height, weight, whatever. You can't really even that out. Like, are you naturally talented? You can't go against someone who worked harder than you, even though they have no... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you're bringing substances in, that you could even a playing field by taking it out. You can't take genetics out of somebody or, you know? Like, some sports you have to wear specific shoes to even the playing field. Yes. You can't just have, like, hybrid shoes. You can't wear metal cleats. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
So when you bring in these objects you can take out to even the playing field. Bodily structure and stuff, you can't.
That's why I think that steroids are so bashed, because people will never, admit to doing them.
Yeah.
And we don't live in an even playing field, because CrossFit is, we're sprinkled with steroids everywhere.
It's shady, though. I'm going to throw shade and say that it's shady.
It is shady.
And say you shouldn't be doing that shit. Like, you should pride yourself on knowing that you worked fucking hard to get where you are and you don't need... But, like, that also brings in... Steroids is something that I think... I haven't done research on it, but it like, fixes your muscles faster so they could grow faster, right? What's the difference between that and BCAAs?
So the difference between steroids is that it multiplies... Okay, I'm not a scientist.
No, but you've done your research.
But I haven't done a lot of research.
Okay.
Well, I've done a lot, but I still don't... I'm not a professional.
Yeah.
Let me just disclaimer that. Apparently, it multiplies your cells so that it repairs your muscles faster. So you become, like, superhuman. But your muscles grow, and your joints are not growing at the appropriate speed, which is so dangerous. That's why a lot of injuries happen.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people, like, tear their what do they tear? Their shoulder? Wow, I'm just talking about how I have
the most popular injuries that I actually read about are I think it's rotator cuff shoulder. It's ACL and knee. It's concussions.
I think it's torn bicep or something like that.
And Achilles. And groin, pulled groin.
Basically, it's dangerous. Would you ever consider doing it?
No. And I've never even thought about it either.
I have.
Oh, no. Because I know the side effects. For women, like...
Yeah, it's not worth it. But I've thought about it because I'm like, well, if everyone else is fucking doing it, I want to fucking do it. But I care about my body so much that, like, I could never think, oh my God, I'm taking 5 years off of my life by doing this. Or, oh my God, I'm going to have, like, a super deep voice now just because I fucking wanted one lift higher. Like,
I don't think it's worth it, and I think it's not ethical. Especially if you're a professional athlete. Like, what it takes to get there. Just do that.
And it's also a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid for, like, if you don't know how to eat well,
and
you don't know how to recover, and you don't know how to recover, and you don't know how to train, you take steroids and you will be training at the same speed as someone who's got their diet down, someone who knows how to recover and take their rest days. Taking a steroid, it's like you can go 7 days a week, you can eat like shit, and you're going to be amazing.
Way out, which is not the mentality of a winner.
Yeah.
I always take the easy way out, and that's why I'm not a winner.
But so I think, like, to wrap this up, I personally would be okay with someone taking steroids if they were put in a position where they're not competing against anyone.
Oh, that I don't care.
Like,
if you're doing it for your own personal...
You want to be a lab rat? Do it.
Yeah. If you're doing it for your own personal...
Whatever you're doing
Whatever. I don't give a shit. It's your life and it's not affecting anybody else. But once what you start doing affects other people, and like people who go to the Olympics, you have you don't live life the way normal people do. You sacrifice so much to get to where you are. And for some asshole who hasn't even done half the work that you're doing, who's just popping pills, to come up in here and take your spot, that's fucked up. That's someone's whole life. I don't know why I just got so angry about that. But like, 'cause I've watched so many documentaries on Olympians. Their life is not anything like the rest of our lives at all.
Yeah.
They literally have not had any of the teenage experiences that we have. It's all been like work, and like 10% play. Work. Your whole life is different. So for somebody who doesn't understand that struggle to come up in here and act like they're the shit, bye. Take your roids somewhere else.
Yeah. And all that to say, if you do end up doing steroids, just know that your gains will not last long, and you will probably end up being even worse off after you're done. So once you incorporate steroids into your diet, you're probably going to have to live off them forever.
Yeah.
Forever and ever and ever. And then you're going to probably sacrifice your ability to have kids.
Oh, for sure.
You're going to have a lot of side effects. It's just not smart.
It's like when you're injured and you keep popping like Tylenol.
Then now you need it.
You need it. Instead of just rehabbing and being patient. Patience in sports is a wild thing.
Yeah.
It does wonders. Just be patient and rehab it properly, and you're not going to depend on monetary things to help you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So, okay, another thing. What do you think about women's sports being less popular?
I mean, it makes sense.
Why?
It makes sense because, like, we're not as rough, we're not as...
So we're not as interesting to watch. I agree with that we're not as interesting to watch, but the fact that a lot of women's sports get paid...
Wait, let me just say, I can only watch women do CrossFit because watching a guy do CrossFit is boring as fuck.
Yeah.
But watching a woman lift all that weight, watching a woman sprint, women in CrossFit is way more interesting to me than men in CrossFit.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Like, I'm sorry, watching a woman play hockey, like if you're unless she tackles the other woman,
like hits them,
or like I don't know. I think it's... No, because...
So we like aggression? That's
aggression, yeah. I think that's what's missing. And why I like it in CrossFit is because we're so aggressive in CrossFit.
Yeah, which we don't see often, so it's
even more enticing.
But what do you think about women getting paid less but playing the same sport?
That's obviously wrong. It's called inequality.
It is, but it comes down to the factor that not a lot of
people are watching.
But really the women work just as hard, even if their sport is uninteresting when they play it.
That's really interesting. I feel like it all comes down to entertainment. And as an actor, you're not going to pay me for a TV show that's shitty. Yeah. But if you're going to pay me for a TV show that everyone watches and I get paid more, it makes sense. So it's kind of just like your work.
The fact that sports is mostly for entertainment now is shitty for the people who are playing, because they're playing for passion, because they worked hard and they're good enough that they made it. Mm-hmm. Like, if I became a professional soccer player, I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks about what I'm doing. I'm not going to put on a show for you on the field. I'm going to do what I do best, to win or to...
Whether that includes a tackle or not.
But that's it. Like,
You're not going to put in the tackle just because it's going to get more views.
So it's tough because your pay does depend on the amount of views that you get. Like, even... Canadian soccer, the Impact, they don't get paid nearly as much as they do in the Europe leagues because they're not as interesting to watch. Yeah. So, but it sucks that that's what it comes down to.
It's like just what it comes down to, though. It's a sad truth.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, if they're not getting ratings, if they're not getting views, then it makes sense. You
guys should give women's sports a try. I went to the Women's World Cup when it was here, and I had a bomb time watching them. Yeah. They were sick. Especially if you're a woman, you support.
But then if I'm not interested, I'm not interested.
You're not, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't like watching sports. I'd rather play than watch.
Yeah.
I don't watch any leagues in soccer. I don't give a shit. I like playing a lot, though.
So we can't force ourselves to like something just that it'll help them get paid more.
That's true.
It's like if we
They deserve it, though.
They deserve it, for sure. I agree. But then
they work just
maybe
as
there
hard.
could be another way of, like, giving the people what they want.
Yeah.
Because it's also entertainment. It just sucks that we don't want to watch girls play.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I would watch just to support. You don't really have to watch. Just turn the TV on, I guess. I don't know. It's really tough to think about that because there are so many aspects to
There are.
why women should get paid more, but they don't. Like, I understand the entertainment aspect, but it just sucks.
Okay, what's another question?
Okay, I got you. So what do you think about children being graded in school for, like, in gym? Do you think it's fair?
No. Oh, God, I don't know.
It's so rough, right?
It's such a tough question because, like, you know, we have those bench warmers, the ones who, like, are like, you're not making me train Mrs. Humphrey. Like, Humphrey. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're not making me get up. Because we put our makeup on in high school. We don't want to sweat.
Oh, you didn't like gym class in
No,
high
I
school?
fucking loved it.
Oh, I was like, that's the only class.
It's the only class that I got good grades in. Because the rest of the classes, I got, like, C's and B's.
That's so good. Considering. Yeah.
But, like, you know, art and gym and English, A.
Okay.
Always. Art? Oh, no, so good. But I think you have to grade.
But I think that kids who are unathletic should be graded by their effort and not their ability.
Yeah, of course.
But a lot of high schools...
A for effort.
Yeah, not A for effort. Like, you still suck a little.
You just said, though. Don't
No, but like
ability.
you're not gonna give a kid who can't catch a ball 100. But if you see them putting in the effort to continuously try instead of giving up, but you're still not gonna give them 100, you're gonna give them an 80.
Well, why?
Like, but don't take away from the
what
kids
if they're
who
there,
are actually
like before class starts and after class ends, and they're like
you can't do that in high school. It's not worth it for a grade in gym. I don't know. It's worth it for math maybe because that shit actually counts towards your future, which is stupid. But every kid in school has different abilities. It's like being for math. I'm not a math person, but I'm not stupid.
It's true.
I just don't like math. It doesn't click for me. Excellent with language though. History, I'm bomb. Math, I just don't get. So you can't compare me to a student who loves math.
Do you think that anybody can, like, pick up a sport now? Like, what if, like, you and I are 20 to 25 years old? What if a 25-year-old was like, okay, I've done nothing my whole life, and now...
Oh, yeah.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah, 100%. Everyone has this, like I said, way back in the days, we were meant to just be running around and being active. So everyone has that somewhere deep down.
Okay.
And just because you're not good at sports doesn't mean you shouldn't play them.
What about people who are just like, they hate it? I know a lot of people who are just like either lazy, but like they like being lazy. Like they're like, I'm lazy. I don't like it. I don't like training. I hate it. I hate working out. I hate sweating. Like I have 3 people in mind right now, and all of them, they tell me like, no way, I'm not going to a class. I don't like training. Yeah.
I don't know. In that case, like, obviously in life, you don't do anything that you don't have to do if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you, it doesn't have to be a sport. I don't really consider going to the gym and lifting weights, like, just recreationally a sport. But doing that improves your health.
Yeah. I'm
not saying, like, bodybuilding isn't a sport and weightlifting isn't a sport. I'm saying if you just go for your health and not to compete, then it's not a sport. So, and you can find other ways to be active that isn't sports or lifting weights. Like my friends and I go play capture the flag in big parks at night, which is a lot of running, and it's not a sport. Or it could be a sport. Everything's a sport nowadays, but
everything's a sport if it's put in a sport context. I think sports are defined as like competing with
physical activity.
Physical activity. It doesn't even have
Darts
to be physical
is a
because
sport.
apparently, exactly,
Yeah.
apparently fishing is a sport. Okay?
Okay.
So it's not physical. Well, some people
We'll disagree.
will argue
yeah,
otherwise.
yeah.
But it's interesting,
Yeah.
the definition of a sport.
I don't know. I think you could take your fitness literally anywhere and you not even realize that it's fitness. Like, I took a year off of CrossFit to just explore other things.
Yeah.
And I loved the things that I found. Just like, well, yoga is an obvious one that's really good for you. But we did like races that were more fun than anything. Like the color run.
like
Everyone knows
Spartan
about
race.
the color. Yeah. Well, the Spartan race is really intense. Like I wouldn't say that's not... Like, if you're not fit, I mean, do
Don't
it,
do
but
that.
it's gonna
Oh,
suck
yeah, but
ass.
the color run,
like a simple 5K that you don't even have to run, but like you're still out in the fresh air, like walking and like doing something,
Yeah.
you know? Just walking your dog is exercise. Like, you could take your fitness anywhere. It doesn't have to be the typical sports like soccer, football, hockey, baseball.
But do you think that, like, as athletes, we're kind of looked at as meatheads?
In a way, but it depends what kind of athlete you are.
CrossFit athlete.
I think we're looked at like a cult. So what one person does, we all look that way. But I know a lot of really like humble, not meathead, like CrossFitters who like don't even talk about it when they leave the gym. It really depends on the type of person you are, but every sport has a stereotype to it. It
Soccer.
really does. Soccer, I can't put a stereotype to because I know 2 types of soccer players. 3, actually. Like, the one that fucking gets angry at everything and is just screaming and yelling all the time is, like, a real hothead. And then the one who's, like, really calm and really good and like, chill. And then the third one would be, like, a mix between the 2, you know? Or... like someone who's not that good, but whatever.
So there's
you know?
all those types of athletes in all sports.
Yeah, that's it. Your sport will never just have one type of athlete, but it may have more of one type of athlete than most, you know?
Yeah.
Like the majority of hockey players that I've met are all like really outgoing and fearless and a little ridiculous, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I also know hockey players that are calm and quiet and cool and collected. And
Yeah.
So, I mean, every sport has its stereotype, but it doesn't mean that because you play that sport, you are that, you know?
That's the truth.
Yeah. Do you think cheerleading is a sport? Everyone debates about this.
Of course it is.
But some people debate that it's not.
What's to debate?
I don't know.
You're put in a competitive environment. You're flipping your body freaking into space. Like, yes.
Yeah.
It's a sport.
It's dance and gymnastics. But a lot of people don't really consider dance a sport. They consider it a hobby.
I don't know. I think that if you're competing,
see, I don't agree. I don't agree with any of that. Anything is a sport. Curling is a sport. Curling is hard.
Chess is a sport.
For the mind? A sport for the mind?
No, it's just
a finger exercise?
No, it's a sport because you're playing competitively. Sometimes you can go like 12 hours in a row. Like you try. Do you have the stamina and the mental fortitude to play chess for 12 hours in a row? Absolutely not. That I would actually consider harder than CrossFit.
Why would you play chess for 12 hours?
It's part of a sport.
You're supposed to hit the timer. You're not supposed to take a lot of time. It's like the faster you go in chess, the better it is. The smarter you look.
You think?
Well, if you're able to calculate everything that's happening and make a move quickly and know what's going to happen after that move, I think you're a genius. Fuck.
Okay, because that's how I play chess.
Yeah, but if you take like 3 hours to figure out a move...
Okay, because that's how Justin plays chess.
No, but like when you make your moves fast... Are they good moves or are they just like impulsive? Like, oh, this looks good, and then after you take a step back and you're like,
yeah,
this didn't work out.
It'll depend, but most of the time, like, he'll take so long to play that I will see my move like 5 moves ahead, and I'll be like, I know what I'm gonna do. If he plays this, I'll just play that because of that.
Yeah.
I would love to play a game of chess with you, actually.
I'm not good at chess. I used to be when I was younger, so we had literally had a class of chess in my elementary school. I don't even remember what half of the things do in chess anymore.
What?
That's a skill
everyone should always have for the rest of their lives.
But I'm also just not patient. I'm not a patient person. I like to believe that I am in most cases, but I know for a fact that I'm not. I have no patience to heal when I'm injured. Sometimes people tell stories and they're too long and I have no patience and I'm like, just get to the point. Like, I have no patience for so many things, which is also why I don't want kids. I don't have patience for you either. Yeah. I don't even have patience with myself sometimes. Like, why am I taking so long to do this? Or, oh my God, make up your mind. Or
the patience is a superpower.
It is, but it's one of the things that you need in sports that most professional sports players have. Patience, dedication. Yeah, what do you think it takes to make it big in any sport?
Mindset.
But like more than one thing. Your top 5.
Top 5 things. So top 5 things, 100% would be commitment, because you need to be committed to show up every day. Mm-hmm. You need to be disciplined. So disciplined to do the things that you don't freaking want to do, like eat healthy every single day. Yeah. Do the hard work, the accessory work that you don't want to do. Discipline. You need to have optimism. Oh, yeah. Positivity. This is one huge thing, because when things are not going well, when you have shitty days in the gym, you need to realize that there's a bigger game ahead of this. There's a reason why you're doing this. So that goes to purpose. You need to have a purpose. Yeah. What is your actual purpose for being an athlete? What is your purpose? What's driving you? So it could go into like you're driven, like being driven. The last thing I'm gonna really take a second to think on, because I want the real juice for this one. Creme de la creme.
The real juice.
The creme de la creme. This one would have to be
because mental is a lot of things.
I would say perseverance.
Perseverance, okay.
It's all kind of intertwined, because perseverance for me would just be like, do you believe that you can do this for the rest of your life? Mm-hmm. Are you willing to blood, sweat, and tears into this sport until you're 80? Yes? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
But what about
my five things? What
do you think about people who just play sports for fun? Like, is there a 5 thing they should live on?
Well, yeah. You should always have a purpose in everything that you do. So if you want to play sports for fun, okay, connect with someone every time you go to play.
Yeah.
Be your best self. Have a good mood when you're surrounding yourself with people, or even when you're alone, like be in a good mindset.
Yeah.
I think that you should always have that, even if you're not an athlete. Take that away. Have like motives that drive you all the time.
And always respect the game. Always remember why you're doing things and where these things come from. Like a lot of CrossFit hero workouts, when you remember the person behind it and what they went through and why it was named after them and stuff, it's like it gives you that extra purpose to continue. It
takes you out of the equation.
It does.
And it just makes you serve.
Serve? What do you mean? Like the sport?
No, it just makes you serve for the workout. I'm thinking about this crazy ass workout that I did, Chad. 1,000 box step-ups for time.
Yeah, Chad.
So it makes you serve. I was like, you know what? I'm doing this for the person that freaking died. My body is of service right now. I'm not connected to it. Well, I am, but like it's going to, for an hour and 15 minutes, my body is yours, Chad.
Okay.
Service.
I like that. Okay, so let's talk about rehab. You've done all these, well, not necessarily just rehab. Well, yeah, rehab, even if you're not hurt.
Yes.
So you've done all these big, crazy workouts and your muscles are killing you, and sometimes you don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Not heal. You don't recuperate as fast.
Yeah, recover.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's the word. Sometimes it's there and it's not there.
DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, is a serious thing.
Oh, when it's like 2 days after your hard workout, it finally hits. Me with my deadlifts.
Yeah, and that should be, if you want to be a part of a really intense sport, you need to be okay with living sore.
But I remember you went through a whole point where you were like, my legs never get sore. Do you think that means you didn't work out hard enough?
I think it's because I'm not changing up the stimulus
Okay.
as often as I should, because I just did 19.5, 100 thrusters for time as fast as I could, and then the day after I went in and did 5 times 5 back squats.
Oh my god.
At 165. I can't walk today. And I don't feel that often, but it's because I don't change the stimulus up like that very often.
Okay. So soreness isn't necessarily connected with how hard you worked out. It's just a change in muscle groups that you haven't. Because a lot of people connect, oh, I wasn't sore, so I didn't work out hard enough.
Which is also a fallacy.
It is. I get sore so easy because I don't work out that much. But it's not because I worked out hard. I could literally do 3 deadlifts at 200 and my legs will fucking kill me in 2 days. But it's because I haven't really used them in a while, you know?
But we could end this with rehab, actually, and like how to mentally be okay with like taking a step back.
And what you should physically do too.
Yeah.
Like we talk about, I think it's important to constantly get like deep tissue massages. Maybe not once a week because it gets expensive, but it changes the game, man.
Really?
Yeah, your body feels like just fucking incredible after.
Wow.
Yeah, they're getting really in there.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it repairs things because obviously it doesn't, but everyone needs a good rub down. Not like in a dirty way, but yeah, that too, I guess. But everyone needs like a rehab routine. Like there was at one point when I was going really hard in CrossFit that I went to the chiro every 2 weeks and the masseuse or the deep tissue masseuse every 2 weeks. Like I was constantly trying to repair what was broken or like heal what was hurting. And that worked. It works a lot. Like stretch for 30 minutes before you start working
Stretching
out.
is a huge thing. And if I can say anything about how to become a better athlete, it would be to stretch.
Oh yeah.
Like the benefits that just setting up a mat on the floor and doing yoga on your own, deep breathing, getting connected with your body, and also just like literally spending time to stretch your body out. That's gonna change the game for you. Flexibility, man.
Yeah. I didn't think stretching was a big thing until we switched gyms. Like we started at a different CrossFit gym where they did hour sessions, like a class that's an hour session. So I would run in like almost late and not stretch before working out. And then a few weeks of that, my shoulders were dying and I could not figure out what was wrong.
Stretching.
Like I had this one point and I kept trying to like roll it out and the coach was like, no, this hurts because you're tight here.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like I know nothing about my body.
The human body.
I know nothing about it. So
be more connected to your body.
That's it. And then when we switched to a gym where it's like open gym all the time and everyone's workouts are a little different.
Yeah.
Our coach gave us at the very beginning a stretching like regimen.
Yeah.
I take that shit to the grave, man.
Right?
My shoulders never hurt after that. And then when I stopped to do Olympic weightlifting, I would run in late all the time again and not stretch and my shoulders died again. And I was like, oh, okay, stretching really is the only way. I don't do well in workouts unless I'm properly, like, my muscles are stimulated. Not just stretching, but like a little pre-workout, not the drink, but
pre-workout.
Yeah, like a pre-workout. Yeah. Like a little bike to get your muscles going.
And what would you say for someone like me right now, like my shoulder is injured? Like how can I heal this?
I think the first thing about any injury is that you need to figure out exactly what the injury is so that you're not wasting your time doing things that aren't actually connected to it, but you think they are. Like, oh, this feels good. It'll make my shoulder feel good. But in the end, that's not what's wrong with your shoulder.
So go get diagnosed?
So I would go get diagnosed first, which sometimes takes a long time, but it's better late than never, you know? And then from there, I would go talk to somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing to get certain stretches and exercises to strengthen it back up again.
Okay.
But get more than one opinion because, I don't know.
They might not know everything.
I mean,
and then mentally, what would you tell me?
To work on your weaknesses. Well, the only thing though is for people who aren't mentally as tough, working on your weaknesses can be even worse because then you get frustrated with that also and it builds. But don't. Like, when I couldn't do anything with my knees, I was doing a lot of strict upper body shit, and my bench press went up like by 30 pounds. So, like in the long run, remember the long run.
Yes.
Stop wanting instant gratification. Yes. Like, remember the long-term goal.
Yeah.
And your long-term goal should be to be the best that you could be and to be healthy. And that will only happen if you do things that you don't really like in the short term to get to the long term. Like, that gratification will only come down the line, and it'll be way bigger than the instant gratification you have from like
healing now.
Yeah.
Well, that would be really satisfying, but you know what we're trying to say.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to heal right now, though. That's the thing. No matter what you do right now, it's not just going to magically, unless it is actually like subluxated and you just kind of like pop it back into place. But even then, you need to start strengthening it, or else the same thing is going to keep happening. Yeah. And even at that, there's little things. Like, when my knees got hurt, I was like, I have big fucking legs and they're strong as fuck. How could this be because of like a lack of strength? And my surgeon, I was about to call him my dentist, I don't know why. My surgeon was like, sometimes it's just genetics.
That sucks.
That does suck.
But if it's subluxated, would you be able to just pop it right back in?
I don't know much about it. I just know the difference between subluxation and dislocation. I think subluxation, you could pop it more back in. Dislocation,
like,
usually...
Could you do that to me?
No, I can't do that to you.
Could I do it to myself?
Like, I'm sure there are ways, but I don't know if you really want it. That shit hurts.
It hurts.
I've had so many friends who dislocate their arms, and like, usually you rip something when you dislocate, or from what I've seen, to pop it back in fucking kills. Like, they cry, scream. They usually give people pain meds for that shit, so like, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Fiona's been doing a bunch of tests online to see what it is. Go to a proper doctor, people.
Yeah, but honestly, on that, I really think that you are your own doctor. Like, that's what it is. Nobody will know what's wrong with you until you push and press and ask questions and diagnose yourself. I'm sorry, that's what world we're living in today. I knew so many things that were wrong with me that my doctor had no idea. I would show my doctor on freaking a website, WebMD, and they'd be like, oh, that's true. You know what? Maybe you're right. Write me a prescription. You need to be your own doctor. This has happened so many times. My mom had breast cancer when she was 23 years old. Yeah. She had to see 6 different doctors before someone was like, you know what? You're right. Maybe that is a lump of cancer. Boom, lump of cancer. Be your own doctor. Like,
yeah. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't really encourage being your own doctor because not everybody knows that much about their bodies to know. And if you're just looking up things online, like, the internet can tell you anything. We're very gullible in that sense.
Of course, but the information is there. And if you know how to source correctly, if you know how to look at sources,
sure. Yeah.
If you know what symptoms only you know what you're going through. Your doctor is going to literally ask you to come into the office, tell the doctor everything that's wrong with you.
Yeah.
You are your own doctor.
No,
you have
true.
to do research on what's wrong with you. I don't know.
No, you do, but at the same time, like, the information is there, but it's not always correct. And like, we could put something in our heads that isn't actually true, but we keep pushing for it because we believe that it is off of what we read. Like, the first time I got hurt, dude, I knew nothing about my body. It's only because of the program that I'm in now and like trying to become self-aware of every bone, muscle connection that I actually know the slightest. And even at that, I don't even know a quarter of the things that could go wrong in your body, and I do really depend on my doctor, you know.
Yeah, but also, the doctor depends on you too.
Oh, of course, you have to give like accurate information, but a lot of the time people look up what they think is wrong and the symptoms, and then they end up telling the doctor the symptoms that they just read, even if they're not 100% true.
Okay, well, that's another story.
No, but people do that, like, subconsciously. Like, oh, I'm pretty sure I just had a little heart attack, so because I looked it up online and it said right shoulder pain. I think I felt a little bit of pain in my right shoulder, because you want to believe that what you're looking up is true.
Go with your facts.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, doctors are important. They get paid for what they know, you know, but yeah, you do know. One thing I learned through this whole injury process is you do know yourself way better than anybody knows you. Like, I got shit on a lot for when I got hurt the second time, I knew the process and I knew what my body could and could not handle from the first time. And I got shit on a lot. People were like, I would post videos and they would be like, you shouldn't be doing that. But I'm like, it feels good. And if it didn't feel good,
I wouldn't do it,
or I would face the consequences.
Yeah.
It's not up to you to tell me what I can and can't do. I know what my body is capable of doing even when it's hurt, and I know what I should push and what I shouldn't. Like, after my second surgery, I tried doing like a 1 rep max deadlift after a month, and I knew that was fucking stupid. I know that's stupid, but like, whatever, it's my body, and it felt good, and I did it and nothing was wrong. I mean, not everyone is so lucky, but you know you, so don't let other people tell you. You could take advice, but everyone heals different. I healed from my second surgery in like 2 days. I was able to walk, when there are some people who get the same surgery as me who can't walk for weeks. Everyone heals different. You know your body. You know what you're doing to feel better. But like, also know your limits, since you know yourself so well. Know what you shouldn't do. Like, that deadlift was really fucking stupid.
But you knew you.
But I knew me, but it doesn't.
But still.
It was still stupid. Yeah. It's a touchy subject. And don't let your injuries fuck with your mental.
That's hallelujah.
Because that's everything. Whenever people have the same injuries as me, I tell everybody, it's a mental game. Yeah. It has nothing to do really with the physical pain that you're feeling. Yeah. Completely mental. I believe it. You're going to get depressed because you can't do things, especially when you're so passionate about things. You're going to get depressed. You're going to feel like garbage. But take that and make it into something great. Come back stronger. Come back with a vengeance.
Yeah. I love it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Peace, guys. See you next week.